my great pleasure. It's my great pleasure to be here with you all. And we have a very important topic to discuss. I will show you some slides with some information, and then you can tell me what do you think of it. If you have any questions, I would be glad to answer. And let's start by sharing my screen. May I share the screen with you? Okay, let me see if I can go. Excellent. Here we go. Great. So, what we have for today is leaders' mindset as global change maker. This is a powerful thing. Global change maker. So, what do we need to have into consideration in order to learn how to build, maintain, manage, and harness the power of quality relationships for a maximized productivity and lasting impact? Then we can go to the first question for you all. What is the global mindset of a global leader? We have lots of ideas about this. We always have into consideration the term or the word global. Global, the whole world, global, which is international. So, leader. And the global mindset is a set of individual qualities, communication skills, and actionable knowledge that empowers those in leadership roles to influence multicultural individuals, groups, and organizations. So the key word here is influence. This is what is really important for a global mindset leaders. When we talk about communication skills, how can you communicate in order to influence? How can you be an influencer in multicultural affairs? What comes next is how do you develop a leader's mind into a global mindset? Very important. Develop a leader's mind. Because we all the time are on the track to become great leaders. So we are always on the process to get that objective and to have a leader's mind, and at the same time, a global mindset. I can give you now, or share with you the information that I have collected from the tips for developing a global viewpoint mindset. We can start by mentioning be open to new perspective. Always open. If you want to develop a global viewpoint mindset, you need to be open to hearing new points of view. hearing, active listening. How important. You need to be flexible in your thinking, not fixed thinking, flexible, and seek out new experiences. We are looking for new experiences. Global leaders develop a mindset, seeking out new experiences. Why is it important for leaders to have a global mindset? It's highly important. A main benefit of a global mindset is the organization's ability to combine speed with accurate response. The organizational global mindset can bring about benefits that can manifest themselves in one or more competitive advantages. Great points. How about the characteristics of a leader with a global mindset? Overseas experience. It's very important to have information from all over the world. Many global executives understand what doing business in a flat world is like because they lived overseas, sometimes for decades at a time. We can mention deep self-awareness, sensitivity to cultural diversity, humility, how important is to be humble, lifelong curiosity. Curiosity is something that never ends. We are all the time curious, and cautious honesty. We continue with this important information. I am asking you questions and at the same time answering them. You can take notes and highlight some important things from this presentation. You can search for more information. You can broaden the answer as what are the three elements of global mindset? Have you ever thought about elements for global mindset? And we can say that global mindset can be measured. Sure. And there are three primary dimensions: psychological, social, and intellectual. Global mindset is a set of individual qualities and attributes that help a manager influence individuals, groups, and organizations from other parts of the world. So how important is it to influence individuals, groups, and organizations from other parts of the world? Global mindset is characterized by three key attributes: intellectual, psychological, and social. Please remember this. It is highly important to have in mind if we want to express the key attributes. Again, intellectual, psychological, and social. An example of a global mind. One definition, for example, comes from the global newspaper, the Financial Times, which describes a global mindset as a combination of an openness to an awareness of diversity across cultures and markets, with a propensity and ability to see common patterns across countries and markets. We couldn't agree more. The steps. What do we have as the steps to leading global minds? I have found and experience can support this. Recognize your own cultural biases and preferences. Appreciate that other cultures have values and behaviors different from your own. Today, we are doing a cultural milestone. In this specific talk that we are witnesses today, we are with different cultures. I am from South America. I am Peruvian. We have a different culture than you that are from Europe, from Africa, from Asia. But we have to learn to recognize culturally based behaviors. It's very important to communicate globally. We always want to be successful. What does success mean? Success is to reach the objective that you have in mind that makes you feel happy and satisfied with the outcomes. So what makes a successful global leader? Creativity and innovation is a fundamental part of the human experience, both at work and at play. Global leaders understand that their teams hold within them so many different ideas, and it's their joy to draw out all these different perspectives within the team. Joy. Interesting word. It's a positive word. So this word, among others, need to show our positiveness as leaders. And the skills, do we need any skills to make up an effective global mindset? If so, what are they? What are these skills in order to make up an effective global mindset? Leadership, cultural intelligence. How important is this? to understand individuals around the world. And communication and interpersonal skills are essential for a global mindset that maximizes virtual team effectiveness. Again, cross-cultural leadership undeniable. Cross-cultural leadership is an important competency of global mindset. Remember, cross-cultural leadership. How do you develop a global mindset in the workplace? All of us have a workplace. We can work for others and we can work independently, but at the end it's a workplace. And if we want to mention ways to develop a global mindset, what are these ways to develop a global mindset? We can mention 5. The first one, recognize your own cultural values and biases. We all have cultural values. Do we all know about our cultural values? So we need to recognize them. We need to get to know your personality traits, especially curiosity. Curiosity, again, as one important personality trait. We need to learn about the workplace and business expectations of relevant countries and markets. If you deal with international markets, so what are those which you consider relevant? In what countries they are? You need to know about that if you want to have or to start business. We need to build strong intercultural relationships like we are doing today. I'm really happy to belong to this organization. Yes, you can. Because the name of this organization is very subjective. We can go beyond the limits. Isn't that true? And we have the networking, intercultural relationships. We need to develop strategies to adjust and flex our style. Adjust and flex our style. If we continue with this, and we have more questions and more answers, again, you can have your own answers through your experience. I am here sharing with you some information that particularly works for me and works for some other people that I know about their experiences. And another question here is, what are the 2 key components of a global mindset? Interesting question, because we can have components. And we can say that a global mindset consists of 3 key components. We have 2 first, but we can add more through your experience. You can get more, as particularly element that works on you: intellectual capital, psychological capital, and social capital. Intellectual capital, psychological capital, and social capital. These components work together to create a foundation for success in the global business arena. What is our role as global leaders in the business arena? Is just to make money? So business only means to make money, or goes beyond that? Then we are talking about strategies. But what is a strategy and global mindset? The strategic global mindset model, also known as the keyhole model. Remember this. Keyhole model is based on the idea that context means something that makes a real difference to the way the individual company configures the global mindset in the organization and in the global leaders and employees. Something very important, which makes a real difference to the way the individual company configures the global mindset in the organization and individual leaders and employees. And if we ask, what are the 4 mindsets for effective leadership? You now can figure out answers. Let me put this way. Leadership research conducted by GP strategists uncovered the need for 4 particular mindsets to lead effectively. Growth, inclusive, agile, and enterprise. Inside a steady state or business as usual environment, these mindsets can ground leaders, helping them support their teams, each other, and their organization. Important is support teams and the organization, because the teams are part of the organization. And the growth must be general. And we talk about 5 elements of a strategy mindset. 5 elements now. Liedtka, in 1998, many years ago, mentions 5 characteristics of strategic thinking. 1998, but we continue applying this as systems perspective, intent focused, thinking in time, hypothesis driven, and intelligent opportunism. Wow, very interesting ones to research about as intent focus. What are our objectives? What our dreams are? We need to know what our dreams are, what we need to achieve, what is the purpose, because we live with a purpose. And if we have a purpose, we have to put into action, have to do lots of things in order to achieve it. 5 essential skills of being an effective global leader. So we have at least 5 essential skills of being an effective global leader. Again, what makes an effective leader? While the answer to this question can vary widely based on the industry, the results from a number of studies by Michigan State University show that effective leaders share 5 essential skills. Innovation, without accent mark, I'm sorry. Vision, inner values, inspiration, and communication. So the next time you're asked about the 5 essential skills or essential skills, remember, is innovation, without accent mark, vision, inner values, inspiration, and communication. And we always repeat things, and the things that we repeat become habits. So what are those habits of effective leaders? We need to read every day. Focus on challenging tasks. Make your health a priority. Learn from people you admire. Plan your next day the night before. Keep your goals in front of you. Take action, even when it's scary. Wow. Have a powerful and inspiring why. Why? When you take action. Why do you do this? Why do you do that? What is the purpose of it? How about the piece of strategic thinking in the global minds? In strategic thinking, we can mention the 6 P's: plan, ploy, pattern, position, perspective, and process. And the rules of strategic thinking. What are the rules? Ask strategic questions. If you want to improve your strategic thinking skills, one of the simplest things you can do is ask more strategic questions. Observe and reflect. Reflection is so important here. Consider opposing ideas. Sure, because we have to be open, as we said at the beginning, for opposing ideas. We need to listen to them actively. And when you consider opposing ideas, and at the same time you support your own ideas, we can jump into agreements. We need to embrace formal training. Training is always necessary. We become lifelong trainees. We are always learning from others. We're learning from experience. Since we are alive, we learn. Styles. How about styles? The answers give rise to four styles for executing a strategy: classical, adaptive, shaping, and visionary. Visionary. And we also have to adapt to different circumstances. We mentioned close cultural leaders. It's always adaptive. And the core areas of a strategy, what are them? What are they? Strategy is comprised of three parts. Again, visionary means to have visions. So vision, goals, and initiative. Vision describes who the customers are. If you are talking about business, what customers need, how you plan to deliver a unique offering. And this is a good example of relationship in business. Thinking about the needs of the people and how we plan to deliver a unique offering. You have companies, we also have competitors. So what we need to think in order to be unique? And about people, successful people that have a global mindset and were persuasive and could get along with many people and developed great relations. Because the world is full of relationship, networking. Since we are part of a society, we are not alone. We grow our relationships in our inner family. And we develop a sense of belonging. We belong to a family. We belong to a society. We belong to a nation. We belong to the whole world. We need to take care of our home, our global home, as global leaders. Just to mention some, because through history, there were many, and there are many global leaders, global change makers, as Mahatma Gandhi, who was born in 1869 and died in 1948. Nelson Mandela, Winston Churchill, Martin Luther King. Do you remember his very famous speech when he said, "I have a dream"? And we now can say, Mrs. Queen Elizabeth Lucas, My response: if you have a dream, you can make it real. Yes, you can. Abraham Lincoln, Mother Teresa, Napoleon Bonaparte, George Washington, and others that you might mention. Thank you very much for this opportunity to share ideas, to share information. Thanks. Yes, you can. International Academy. Thanks, Mrs. Queen Elizabeth Lucas. Keep happy, please. Keep happy.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your valuable, valuable, inspirational, transformational, informative that you have shared with us today. We've really learned a lot from it, especially in the professional world, because we have to change our mindset for transformation. And without our mindset being renewed or growth, we can't really transform our relationship with others. And that is why it is very important that we visit our mindset to know the state of our mind. Because the state of our mindset, it will determine the kind of relationship that you are building. Thank you so much.
That's right. Our mindset and our heart align together.
Yes. Thank you.